Hey seniors, welcome to day 3 of Benchmark Review. Let's work really hard today, make today count. Game day is in about 6 days, so let's jump right in. Today we're going to be reviewing comparing rate of change with tables and graphs. So go ahead on your notes page, go ahead and draw a line, go ahead and write tables and graphs in the top left hand corner. So when comparing tables and graphs, convert everything into equations. Same thing as yesterday. The equations will help you, will make it very easy to compare. So let's just remind ourselves, when I say rate of change, of course I'm talking about slope. When I say initial value or initial cost, I'm talking about, of course, the y-intercept. So let's go ahead and jump into an example. Don't write this yet, I'll tell you what to write. Peyton has been on vacation and is beginning his trip home. He plans to travel an average of 350 miles per hour and is currently 350 miles from home, you go ahead and underline that, as represented in the table below. Determine which of the following graphs accurately represents this data and justify your answer by interpreting the rate of change and initial value from each graph. Alright, so this table is basically telling me how much time and distance he is from home, which means that if he has not traveled any time, he is 350 miles from home. If he's traveled 1 hour, he's 290 miles from home. 2 hours, 230 miles from home. So in order to compare the table to the graph, I need to go ahead and write an equation from the table and then match it to one of these graphs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The way I find my slope is change in y over change in x. So I have 290 minus 350 over 1 minus 0. Now, 290 minus 350 will leave me with negative 60, and then 1 minus 0 will just leave me with 1. So I have a slope here of negative 60. So I already have part of my equation. So I have y equals negative 60x. Now, do not leave your variable off. If you leave your variable off, it's totally wrong. Now that I have my slope, I need to figure out what my y-intercept is. So I go to my table, wherever x is 0, the value of y is my y-intercept. So boom, x is 0 and y is 350. Which makes sense because it says if my starting point is 350 miles from home and I'm traveling at a rate of 60 miles per hour, that makes sense. Alright, now what we want to do is take this equation and match it to one of these graphs. Now, whenever I do that, I always want to start with my y-intercept. This isn't different from how we've been doing it. So I want to look and find one of these graphs that has a y-intercept of 350. Now, there are two graphs I can go ahead and cross off immediately. This first answer choice, the y-intercept is at 0. And also, this graph is positive, which means this line is positive, which means that its slope is positive. My slope is negative in my equation, so this can't be right. I'm going to go over to answer choice C. This y-intercept is approximately at like 170, and it's also a positive line, which means its slope is positive. So this one cannot be correct. Answer choice B has a y-intercept of 350 and has a negative line. And since it's my only answer choice left, answer choice B is the one that I want. Let's do another one. All right. Which of the following representations of data has a greater rate of change? The graph or the table? Explain how you know. Now, I can't really compare either one of these things until I write an equation for them. So let's start with the graph. Again, I always start with my y-intercept, which I see is at 30. So I have a y-intercept of 30. Now, I want to find my next clear point. Boom. At 1 and 50. Now I'm going to find the rise and the run between those 2 points. These units are increasing by 10. So I'm actually rising 20 if I go from 30 to 50. So I have 20 over, then I run once. So I have a slope of 20. So my equation would be y equals 20x plus 30. Now, what I need to figure out is what is the equation of my table. Change in y over change in x in order to find my slope. So I have 70 minus 40 over 2 minus 0. 70 minus 40 is going to leave me with 30. 2 minus 0 will just leave me with 2. 30 divided by 2 is going to leave me with 15. So I have a slope of this table of 15. So I have half of my equation, y equals 15x. Now I just need to find my y-intercept. Now I just go to my table, I figure out where x is 0, the value of y as my y-intercept, which is at 40. Now, what I want to do, my question was asking me, which one has the greater rate of change? Explain how you know. When it says greater rate of change, of course I know I'm talking about slope. So which one of these has the larger slope, which means that it's increasing at a faster rate? Well, I see that this slope is 20 and this slope is 15, so my graph is going to have the greater rate of change because 20 is larger than 15, which means this line is increasing at a faster rate than this table is. Now, a good exemplar response when it says explain how you know would be something like the graph has the greater rate of change because the slope is larger, which means the line is steeper and the graph is increasing at a faster rate. In complete sentences. Always use complete sentences. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Let's go ahead and practice.